Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones is taking action to block the state from continuing to suppress dissent. Jones and fellow Black Democratic lawmaker Justin J. Pearson were expelled from the State House in April for leading gun reform protests on the House floor days after a shooting at a Nashville area school. Gloria Johnson, their white colleague who joined them in those protests, was not expelled and kept her seat. In August, Jones and Pearson won back their seats in a special election. And during a special session later that month, Republicans passed new rules to limit debate. Jones was again silenced after Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton ruled that he'd twice spoken out of order, leading Democrats to walk out in protest. On Tuesday, Jones filed suit against the state and Sexton in federal court, alleging that his expulsion and the new rules are unconstitutional and illegal. The suit alleges that Jones was blocked from expressing views on critical issues that he was elected to express, and his expulsion robbed him of committee appointments and seniority. In a social media post, Jones said his constituents deserve to have their voices heard without the threat of undemocratic silencing and retaliation. And State Representative Justin Jones joins me now. Representative Jones, let's go through this. So since you've been back, and we've talked to you about this on this show, you have not been reassigned to any committees?
I've been assigned to some committees, but not all of the committees that I was a member of. And that's what I kind of want to say, too, Joy, is that this lawsuit is not about a singular instance, but it's about a pattern of behavior from the House Speaker. At every opportunity, Speaker Sexton has had the opportunity to change course, and at every opportunity, he has chosen discrimination and censorship instead of democracy and rule of law.
And have the sanctions against you, saying you're out of order, saying you can't speak, you can't present on the floor, have those been applied to anyone else besides you?
So on August 28th, during our special session, Joy, I was the only member who was silenced under the new House rules. And I was threatened with being permanently silenced for the rest of the session if I was ruled out of order 2 more times. People who believe in democracy don't silence their opposition simply for doing their job and advocating for our district. This is about challenging authoritarianism, and it's not just about absurd behavior, but it's about absurd, unconstitutional behavior and illegal behavior from the speaker that should trouble us all.
And I know that you're being represented by Eric Holder's law firm. What venue was this lawsuit filed in, and what sanctions are you seeking?
This lawsuit was filed here in Nashville in the federal court, the Middle Tennessee federal court. And this lawsuit is seeking for the court to rule the actions and the conduct of Speaker Cameron Sexton as unconstitutional and illegal. It's about upholding the right to express views under the First Amendment. It's about due process, because even during the expulsion, we saw a kangaroo court, as you and people across America saw, a court that was rigged and that was about silencing the 2 youngest Black lawmakers, but allowing our colleague who was white, who engaged in the same conduct, letting her go. This is about making sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else, Joy. And I want to also say that this is not about me as one person or going into some tit for tat against the speaker, but this is about the people of my district, 70,000 people, the most diverse district in Tennessee, who are being silenced. It's about making sure that this does not happen to any other lawmaker, Joy, because what their behavior is saying, I'm going to be honest with you, is saying that you as a young Black person are not welcome here. You as a young Black lawmaker don't belong here. And I don't want any other young Black child or brown child who watches the news or who sees what's happening in Tennessee to feel that way. I want them to know that they have a place in the people's house, that their voice matters, and that they can be a lawmaker just like I am, and that they should be, and that this old system of discrimination and Jim Crow that they're holding on to should no longer exist in the state of Tennessee.
You know, I follow the Tennessee Holler, and I sort of keep up with what's going on in your state through that news organization. And it does seem that there is something personal that Speaker Sexton has about you, that he seems to have some kind of is that how it feels to you, that there is something personal that is specific to you?
I think it's really about what I represent, Joy. I'm the youngest Black lawmaker. I come from community organizing, come from that tradition of John Lewis of good trouble, and I come speaking unapologetically as a young person representing my district. And so it's really about making an example, and we've seen this before throughout our history, Joy. And so I hope that, the speaker knows, and I've said this so many times, when I went to that House floor and when I go on the House floor fighting against this proliferation of guns in our community, no matter if it's personal for him, I want him to know that I'm fighting for his children too, because this is about all children in Tennessee. And my focus is about the young people, the high schoolers, the middle schoolers who've stopped me and said, thank you for fighting for us. I don't want them to feel like they can be bullied. We don't tolerate bullies on the schoolhouse yard, and we should not tolerate bullies in the State House. And that's what this is about. It's about standing up to bullies and letting them know that they may engage in personal attacks, but we're going to keep it focused on the issues and keep it focused on what's in the best interest of all Tennesseans and the next generation.
Speaking of students, let me play what Speaker Sexton essentially said. He apparently would like to reject $1.8 billion in federal education funding. Here he is explaining why.
The federal government was set up by the states. The states are the parents, not the federal government. And we should do everything that we can to be whole and autonomous and independent from the federal government. When you take federal government money, their philosophies, what they want you to do is different than probably what the state wants to do.
What would be the consequences of forgoing $1.8 billion in federal education money?
It would devastate our education system, Joy. In his county, Cumberland County, that he represents, 30% of their school district's budget comes from the federal government. And so, we have to stop this made-up civil war that they're waging against the federal government. And as you know, our case is being filed in federal court. We're seeking to go to the federal court to uphold the 14th Amendment, Equal Protection Clause. We're seeking to uphold the First Amendment, the right to free speech and free expression. We as Tennessee lawmakers take an oath to uphold constitutional rights, both at in the state constitution, but also in the federal constitution. So I hope that we will uphold these rights and uphold the Constitution and not do things that are harmful to each other as colleagues or to the people of Tennessee. And so I hope that once again the Speaker will choose a different path, a path of democracy and human rights and not dictatorship.
We will continue to watch what's going on in Tennessee. It has become one of the most fascinating states and kind of frightening states in the union. Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones, thank you very much.